Hi, this is Paul. I want to do a quick video about my opinion on the whole Dwayne Johnson, thing that came out the other day, and I think even Zachary Levi confirmed it. I think the other day about how Black Adam. I think they wanted to producers of I think Peter Safran. They even wanted to use uh, the Justice Society characters in the Black Adam 2 in the after credit scene that we see uh, in um, in Shazam 2, in the mid credit scene, I guess, where you have Hardcore and the other gentleman from Peacemaker. They approach Shazam, and ask him to join the Justice Society. But apparently that wasn't the way originally it was supposed to be. The characters from the Justice Society. I know it was supposed to be Hawkman and Cyclone and Atom Smasher, all three of them approaching him to join, ask him to join the Justice Society, or it was just going to be maybe Hawkman or whatever. But in any event, uh, I guess I don't know. I'm assuming that, although I think it's kind of weird, but maybe because he was a producer of the film, he had to get permission for it, and he wouldn't allow them to have permission to do it. And also, I think they wanted Shazam to be in that after credit scene in Black Adam. But again, like I said, I think The Rock, Dwayne Johnson's total focus was on uh, trying to build the DCEU as it was. Totally around his character, but of course the movie didn't pan out. I enjoyed the movie for what it was, but again, I think, and this is just my opinion about this, I think it was totally wrong about this. Like I said, he waited like almost nearly 10 years basically trying to get this movie made, and I still think he definitely should have went the comics route because, again, if you read the comics, I know the general audience for the most part doesn't know the whole history, but Shazam and Black Adam are tied together. Okay, and he kept trying to separate it, which I think was a mistake. But I don't think that's the reason why Black Adam tanked, and I don't think that's the reason why Shazam 2 tanked. Like I said, I liked Black Adam. Black Adam. I thought Black Adam was okay, not perfect. I think it had its flaws, and I guess one of the major flaws I think for that movie is that when you're watching the Black Adam movie, you just basically see Dwayne Johnson, and he's just such a star that like you don't see him blending into the role. Like it's basically Dwayne Johnson cosplaying as Black Adam, which I think they would have been better off. Now that I think about it, this is hindsight, of course, being 2020. That they would have been better off getting another actor, maybe even an unknown actor, to be Black Adam, because it's just with him. I know he wanted that part. He kind of held on to that character for like almost 10 years trying to get the movie made, and I understand that. But I think in the long run, they would have been better off getting an unknown actor, not unknown, but I guess less known, because The Rock, again, like The Rock is The Rock, so his personality is like almost bigger than the role. So I think that's one of the reasons why it failed, and a weak villain too. But anyway, but I think the main thing is, and also why Shazam 2, I think, didn't do as great as it could have been. I thought it was a decent movie. I think I liked it. It was a nice companion to the first movie, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think Zachary Levi actually was pretty good in this movie, and I liked that they gave uh, 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 Jack Dylan Grazer, who plays what's his name? What's his character's name? Not Billy Bat, his friend Freddie Freeman. I think I liked what he had to do in this movie, and I think it was a good movie. But I think because this whole DC, the DCEU ending and stuff, I think that a large part of why people didn't want to go see this movie, which I think was a mistake, because I think it was actually a decent movie and that stuff. But I think, again, the whole way Warner Brothers planned this out was just, they had, with them, these four movies coming out, and the DC Studios thing coming in 2025, probably killed the momentum that anybody wanted to see these movies. Although I think The Flash is going to do. I think there's a big enough reason. The old nostalgia of Michael Keaton in it. You got Supergirl in that, and even Ezra Miller. I know a lot of people don't like him for the things he's done, but I think people want to see that. And that trailer really excited me for this movie and stuff. I think that was one of the best trailers ever this year that came out. So I think people will go actually come out to see that. I know there'll be people that will be boycotting it just because it's Ezra Miller in it and stuff. But I still think that movie's going to make, especially initially in the opening weekend, and we hear there's all these good things, like Tom Cruise likes it and all that. He's seen it apparently, and he likes it. But anyway, I don't think, again, I do think Dwayne Johnson was, he is, yeah, that's right. He's human, and he had an ego, and he thought that, because he wanted to play this part for 10 years, that he was going to play it no matter what, and he wanted to do it his way. He wanted Black Adam to face off against Superman, and that's it. And he didn't want Black Adam associated with Shazam at all, even though, like I said in the comics, they're tied closely together. And all you got to do is look at the DC animated movie where I think it was Superman and Shazam team up to actually fight Black Adam and stuff. And I think a large part of it is like I said, Dwayne Johnson wanted him to be an anti-hero and stuff. And he just I think cooler heads should have prevailed and stuff and should have said, listen, okay, Black Adam is tied. I know he knew this, but he wanted what he wanted, and he didn't say. He said, screw this. Okay, I want Black Adam to fight Superman. I think there was even talk before about them having Black Adam go up against the Justice League or something. Which I think is just totally insane anyway. And I was one of those people that went to see Black Adam because I wanted to see that Superman cameo and stuff in there. But I think at the end of the day, if they would have just, and I love what David Sandberg did with the Shazam character in those movies. And I know tonally, if you look at those movies, it looks like, how could you throw that in there? But think about it. There's some dark moments in the Shazam, the first movie, that boardroom scene where people are getting slaughtered. And also this with Shazam 2, when you see the people in the museum getting turned to stone and stuff. So there's some pretty dark moments in there. And I definitely think David F. Sandberg would have, especially he came from a horror background, he would have been able, I think, to include Black Adam into his Shazam universe. And I always thought in the beginning, at least after the first movie come out, that maybe Black Adam would appear maybe in the after credits scene in this movie. Originally, that's what I thought before I saw the trailer for this movie. For Shazam 2. I thought that originally that maybe they were going to get him, move him into there. And then you could also, especially since, in the first movie, even though it was Headless Superman, we kind of established that Superman has always met Shazam. So you could do that thing like they do it in that animated movie, and having Shazam and Superman team up to fight Black Adam in the third Shazam movie. But again, like I said, The Rock didn't want that. He just wanted him and Superman. That's what he was focused on. Remember, he even commissioned that art. I forgot who the artist who did that, of Superman confronting Black Adam, and I think that's all he wanted to do. But do I think he was the reason why Black Adam tanked, and because of those things because he wanted to keep them separate? No, I don't think those are the reasons. I think other reasons, like I said, I think because the Black Adam movie was flawed and stuff, and I also, like I said before, I think Dwayne Johnson is such a big movie star that he couldn't disappear in the role of Black Adam. When you watch that movie, you basically see it's basically Dwayne Johnson cosplaying as Black Adam. You just see that. You don't. At no point do you say, "Oh, this is Black Adam." I know Dwayne Johnson is a good actor. He's a decent actor, but I'm sorry, he's just so big at this point that I couldn't separate. When I was watching the movie, he said, "This is Dwayne Johnson cosplaying as Black Adam," and I definitely think he should have let the Justice Society be in Shazam 2, even though we know that wasn't going anywhere eventually. But I think what's going to happen, and this is just my opinion, and why I think they put it in the movie, I think they will bring Shazam back. I think Zachary Levi is going to be in this new half reboot universe of DC Studios. I think he is going to. Hopefully, Aldous Hodge and those two other actors who played Cyclone and Adam Smasher want to be. I think they will do maybe a new Justice Society movie and put Shazam in there. I think that would be cool. And then you could also introduce a new Dr. Fate and also a Hawk Girl, because I know Aldous Hodge talked about that. Maybe bringing Hawk Girl into it. So I think that's why they put that in there, because I think they knew they wanted to eventually. I think they are going to bring the Justice Society, and that way you could bring, because I don't think there will be a Shazam 3. I don't think that, because I think David Sandberg said he's moving on from comic books movies. Although I would love for him to tackle another one, but I think he's moving on for the time being and probably move back to whatever he wants, whatever his next passion project is. But I think David Sandberg did a great job with the Shazam movies, But I definitely think Zachary Levi is going to stay. I was unsure before, but I think putting that after credit scene in there with them being recruited by, we know that the Peacemaker crew is getting retained. So I think there's a very real possibility that you'll see a Justice Society movie, and you'll either Justice. I don't know if they'll do a TV show, but I think it'll probably be a movie more likely. With Justice Society and with Hawkman and Cyclone, Atom Smasher, maybe New Doctor Fate, Hawkgirl, and Shazam in there, and I think that would be cool. And I think that's why they put that in there. I think that's the reason why they put that. But as far as Dwayne Johnson, like I said, he had an ego like anybody. He's human, so he has an ego like everybody else, and he wanted that Superman and Black Adam thing more than anything else. Unfortunately, the box office didn't live up to it. But I don't think he was the reason why Shazam 2 tanked and stuff, because I think it was a combination of the people knowing that the DCEU was ending, okay, and people didn't want to go see, which I think is, that's, kind of killed because people know it's not leading to anything. So I think a lot of people said, I'll just wait till it comes on video and all that stuff. But I think it was a good movie, and I saw it, and I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely recommend people see it, but I understand the reason why people didn't go see it, although I think it's kind of a crappy reason. Although, like I said, DC did it to themselves by announcing the new plan going forward, but then you have these movies coming out, so you're kind of in a catch-22 position, because people say, why should I go see these movies? They're not going to lead to anything. What's the point? And which I think is a shame. But again, I don't blame Dwayne Johnson for. I blame him for the ego part of it. And I would have loved to eventually, to see Shazam and Superman team up to fight Black Adam, but Dwayne Johnson went Black Adam just to fight Superman, which is ego. But unfortunately, people didn't go see the movie because of its flaws. But unfortunately, but I don't blame him for the movie tanking that, and especially Shazam 2 really tanked, which I think is a shame because it really is a good movie. Okay, and I thought Zachary Levi was really good, and I hope he continues on in the new DC Studios in the Justice Society, which I think will be cool because I love those characters. That was one of the good points, I think, of that DC Black Adam movie, the Justice Society. I think they were really good. That version that they put in there, I think that was really good, and I would love to see Shazam join them. Maybe move Hawkgirl in there, get a new Dr. Fate, and just do that movie. I think that would be cool, and I think they may do that down the line, which I think is why they put that scene in there with the people from Peacemaker recruiting him. Because remember, in that Black Adam movie, Amanda Waller was controlling the Justice Society. She gave them the assignment to track down Black Adam. So I think that's what it. And I think maybe they'll even recast Black Adam. Maybe they'll do that too. Maybe if you recast Black Adam and get a different, actor again. But I don't blame Dwayne Johnson for that. I don't think that's his fault totally for that. I think there were other factors in that stuff. Although, like I said, why he decided to be petty about it, and to me, that screamed pettiness. They said, no, you can't use those characters, which I think was stupid anyway. But maybe he's a little butthurt about the movie not being as good as. And then, people, remember, he was the one that said he wanted to keep them separate. Yeah, Black Adam and Shazam, even though in the comic books they're linked together. They're just linked together. But for some reason, his ego, it was part ego too, that he wanted. No, he said, I'm going to keep them separate, and I want to be the one to fight Superman, and the DCU is going to resolve around me. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. But I don't blame him for the tanking, because he didn't. But I don't blame him for the Shazam 2 tanking. I think that was the whole, the DC Studios thing starting up and these movies not leading to anywhere, so a lot of people didn't want to go see it anyway, even though I saw it and I enjoyed it. But I think that was more the reason why that movie tanked. Okay, because I think even if you would have included Justice Society in it, which would have been cool, and even had Black Adam, even had Shazam and Black Adam in an after credit scene, I still think those movies would have did what they did anyway. So it is what it is. So hopefully, I'm hoping going forward that we will see Zachary Levi's Shazam again in maybe a Justice Society movie, which I would love to see. In James Gunn's new DC Studios, I would love to see that, and I think that's why they included that in there. So you could put him in there. You don't have to put him in the Justice. You can put him in. You can put him in with the Justice Society, and hopefully, I hope that happens because I love Aldous Hodges, Hawkman, and I love the other two actors, the Cyclone and Atom Smasher, and I would love them to bring Hawkman in there, new Dr. Fate, and Shazam. That would be cool. I would love to see that and have them even meet off, because I think there is going to be a big event event down the line from James Gunn's DC Studios, where you get all these teams, maybe Justice Society, Suicide Squad, Justice League, all teaming up to fight a big bad or something. So I think that's going to happen down the line. But anyway, let me know what you think about this whole Dwayne Johnson thing that just came out. Again, like I said, I don't blame him for the movie tanking. I don't think it's his fault for Shazam 2 tanking. He's more responsible for Black Adam tanking, I think, than Shazam 2 tanking. I don't think that was the reason, just because he didn't allow it in there. I think that's petty that he did that, but I don't think that was the reason. I think it's more, the majority reason was people know that these movies are the last dying movies of DCEU, and they said, it's not going to lead to anywhere, so people didn't bother go seeing them, which is a shame because I really enjoyed it. Okay, but anyway, let me know what you think. Feel free to leave comments down below. I have links to my social media in the description box, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also have a link to my main channel, Trepacer, in the description box as well. Also have a link down below to my Patreon. I want to say a special thank you to my patron. My Patreon, which is only $5 a month. I have tons of content and tons of unedited content on there. I have DC TV shows, Marvel TV shows. I have Star Wars TV shows like The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I have that as well. And also The Boys Season 3 on there, as well as movies as well on my Patreon. So check it out. Follow the link below in the Patreon. Check it out. It's only $5 a month to join. If you want to support me, also please give this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel, and I truly appreciate it. Also hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you know when I upload new content to this channel. And this is Paul saying so long. Take care.